speaking of the IRA, if you want to understand how utterly depraved the British government is, Kneecap member is charged with terror offense. Now, as you guys know, Kneecap are my boys. Okay? They are my boys. They're wonderful people. And they are very outspoken. Kneecap is the name that they adopted after the practice of the IRA during the Troubles, where the IRA would shoot the kneecaps of collaborators with the British occupation. And after these guys came to Coachella, and I filmed their Coachella set on week 2, if you guys recall, on their second Coachella week, they had a placard up behind them that said, "Fuck Israel, free Palestine." This drew a lot of ire from Israel dick riders. They lost their minds over it. They could not comprehend that an entire arena full of young people was celebrating such terrifying messages. Terrifying only if you are, again, an amoral monster, a socially maladapted psychopath who only cares about Israel's agenda of death and destruction. After that took place, a lot of these Jewish advocacy groups that aren't actually interested in combating anti-Semitism, but simply interested in defending Israel, turned around and came after Kneecap pretty hard. They combed through hours and hours and hours of footage from their concerts to find a couple different instances that was actionable under the ridiculous anti-free speech rulership of the UK. Ironically enough, their name is literally invoking the IRA, which was also a terror organization. Okay? In the process of finding actionable items, there was a couple different moments that rose to the standard of terrorism. Okay? Because in the UK, you can't say that you support Hezbollah. You literally cannot say you support Hamas or Hezbollah. Okay? In one of the concerts, they said up Hamas and up Hezbollah. This was one of the actionable items. In another concert, Mohara was seen waving around a Hezbollah flag. Even having a Hezbollah flag, as far as I understand, in the UK is considered illegal. That is how ridiculous this is. Now remember, Hezbollah is not just a militancy formed against the Israeli occupation of Lebanon, of course, but it's also a functioning party in the Lebanese parliament. Okay? And not every country has the same exact opinion over Hezbollah. So while Kneecap came out and apologized for saying up Hamas and up Hezbollah, and even condemned Hezbollah and Hamas in an effort to avoid further criminal prosecution, okay? Because you could go to jail for that kind of thing, and the British government seemingly is not shying away from making an example out of these boys, okay? Yes, allegedly they said up Hamas and up Hezbollah. That wasn't enough. They still wanted to. That apology wasn't enough. They literally forcibly canceled all of their sold out events in the rest of Europe, and that wasn't enough either. Now the British government is charging Kneecap's Liam Ohana, also known as Mohara, with terrorism offense over allegedly waving the Hezbollah flag. The charge relates to an incident on the 21st of November 2024 at the O2 Forum in Kentish Town, London. Officers from the Metropolitan Police Counterterrorism Command had announced in April that an investigation had been launched after a video was circulated online. Mr. Ohana, who performs under the name Mohara, has been charged under the English version of his name, Liam Ohana, and is due to appear before Westminster Magistrates Court on Wednesday, 18th June. In a statement, the Met Police said that Mohana had been charged with via postal requisition with displaying a flag in support of Hezbollah, a prescribed organization, namely in a public place, namely the O2 Forum in Kentish Town, London, displayed an article, namely a flag, in such a way, in such a circumstance that arose reasonable suspicion that he is a supporter of a prescribed organization, namely Hezbollah, contrary to Section 13(1)(b) and 3 of the Terrorism Act of 2000. So their apology was not enough. Their apology was not enough. The fact that they actually literally canceled all of their sold out tours in the rest of Europe was not enough. They still want to criminally punish anyone they can. For being a generally liberal country, how is the UK so backwards with free speech? They're freaks, dude. They are freaks. They will cynically use anti-Nazi laws that were created and expand on said anti-Nazi laws and anti-fascist laws against anyone and everyone that is showing support to any resistance group, any militancy that dares to fight back against Israel. Ironically enough, this is exactly the type of shit that Russia was rightfully condemned for. Now, of course, while being a Nazi technically is illegal in the UK, they don't necessarily prosecute Nazis with the same intensity as they do the likes of Kneecap. This was recorded in January and just aired on RTE TV. Here is some footage from Kneecap's expedition.
A lot of people would like to say that like we never got the Oscar nomination because of our outspoken stuff on Palestine. If it comes down to awards or breaking America by sacrificing what you believe in, then America can go and f itself. I don't want to be 80, 90 years of age and my grandkids asking me why did nobody do anything about the Palestinian genocide. Me sitting there being like, I didn't do enough. I don't want to be on that side of history. A lot of people would like to say that like we never got the Oscar nomination because of our outspoken stuff on Palestine.
The Terrorism Act of 2000 was passed under Labour, by the way? Of course. Of course, needless to say, not a single British citizen who participated in the genocide in Gaza has been charged. That, for example, would not be a waste of police time. This was an artistic performance covered by A10 of ECHR, protecting artistic freedom and ability to play characters without being associated with the views of that character. No evidence to suggest support. Case will be thrown out. Kneecap should countersue for damages. Needless to say, not a single British citizen who has participated in the genocide in Gaza has been charged. That, for example, would not be a waste of police time. America, you back? Okay, dude. Meanwhile, UVF designated loyalist terrorist group flags are flown up north every July and the Brits don't do a thing. Of course not. They are being punished for being outspoken. Spare me the manufactured outrage over them flying the Hezbollah flag, okay? It is completely ridiculous. No, the apologies for that position wasn't the wrong thing to do in this situation, because now they can say they're simply playing an artistic role on stage covered by artistic expression, okay? They also had to say that so the rest of the group would not be criminally charged as well. While that the UK devoted significantly more legal scrutiny to supporting Palestine than they did during the anti-Muslim pogroms last summer. Yeah, this is not the first time that the UK government has lost towards Kneecap, by the way. UK government acted illegally in withholding funding from Irish rap trio. The flag of the British Paris is flown frequently in Ulster and areas of Northern Ireland, the group responsible for Bloody Sunday, 14 dead civil rights protesters. Yeah. The Department for Business and Trade said Kemi Badenoch's decision to rescind funding had been unlawful and procedurally unfair. Yeah. The reason why I'm covering this and the reason why I'm focusing on this is because I need you to understand like where the government's interests lie. Their interest is certainly not in addressing the real cruelty here, the actual systemic harm, but instead in prosecuting those who call out this systemic harm and trying to find anything they possibly can to criminally penalize people. That's it. It's utterly ridiculous. And they're doing this in direct collaboration with advocacy groups that are openly showcasing their desire for the continuation of Israel's genocide. So what will happen? What will fucking happen when inevitably all of these countries turn around and say, okay, maybe that was a genocide. Oops, my bad. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to continue this song and dance? The least you can do if you don't have the bravery, the moral courage to do the right thing, the least you can do is step out of the way. The least you can do is not go after naysayers, not go after people who do have that moral courage. Disgusting.